All right, guys, welcome to Convocourses podcast. I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to get into cybersecurity, how to get into this market, what career paths there are. It's going to be a focus on what career paths. A lot of the cybersecurity people out there who are talking about it, they're talking about hacking, they're talking about the really technical aspects of it. But I noticed they're leaving out a big chunk of cybersecurity. That's actually most of cybersecurity is not what they're saying it is. And I would like to take this opportunity as a person who's coming from the other side of cybersecurity, the non-technical side of the house, to explain to you how to get in this career field. It's recession proof. I've been able to travel the world with it. I've been working from home for a long time doing cybersecurity. I make six figures. I'm not. Am I wealthy? Am I rich? No. But I'm doing okay, and I can take care of my family, and I could say this honestly. I haven't done a lot of smart things in my life. My relationships are not good. I'm not the best father in the world. I try my best. I'm a stay-at-home father, and I just do this by myself. One thing I've done right has been my career. My career is awesome. I have to say, I just a few months ago, I was able to take 4 months off because I started a bunch of businesses and I got real estate property and all this kind of stuff. So I have all these other income streams, and I've been able to do this with cybersecurity. You know, what started off as a passion of mine has been a living that's been able to allow me to help my family, to travel the world and do some of the things that I like to do. And I've noticed I'm a lot better off than a lot of Americans out there because of this career field is recession proof. This is my second recession, and I'm working two jobs. I have two jobs. One's a part-time job. Both of them are six figures. Can't make this up, man. It's crazy. So it's been awesome. Really can't complain too much. And I'm going to show you guys how I've been able to do this over the years. I'm going to start off by telling you if you want to follow me, if like you don't want to do this live right now, go to Convocourses, go to my profile, go in the link description below. You'll see how to contact me. And if you have any questions or whatever, I'll do my best to answer. Like I said, I have two jobs right now, temporarily. One's part-time and stuff. So, but if you have any questions right now about cybersecurity, how to get in this, now is a great time. Like I said, convocourses.com is my site. That's where I'm building a community of like-minded people. So go there. And I'm going to show you guys what I've been up to in lately. So these are two books right here that are currently on Amazon. One is going for 99 cents. And the reason why it's so low is because I do this as a promotional deal to get reviews. If you are interested in doing a review, what I'm doing right now is anybody who gives me a review on any one of these books, you do the review, send me an email. The email is right here. Is contact@Convocourses. And I will send you my fourth book. It's actually a video of my fourth book. And it breaks down how I've been able to do remote work for the last 7 years now. Since 2014, I've been doing remote work. That's another thing that's really been beneficial to me as a single father. If you happen to be a parent at home, you need money and stuff like that. This is a great career path. So yeah, these two books are out there. It's Find Cybersecurity Jobs, and one of these is 99 cents. I do a promotional. If you follow me, I release stuff like this all the time. Sometimes I'll just give out free books. Give out free resources, give out free stuff, and go ahead and check these out. Right now, I have a running list of people who've already submitted reviews and stuff. I got it, guys. Don't worry about it. I will be sending you that link to that free course, a mini course that's breaking down my fourth book, which is going to be work from home. So let's get into this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk you through how to get into this career field with this book right here. I'm gonna show you this, and if this thing is backwards, if you guys happen to be watching me and it's backwards or whatever, just bear with me, and also you can just listen to me because I'm gonna be explaining all this stuff. So cybersecurity jobs, I'm gonna explain how I've been able to do this, how I've been able to find these jobs, keep these jobs, how I've been able to do this for years, and free resources that you can get that I'm giving away. Let's start off with the results. I've been getting back-to-back job offers. So in this first part of this book, I talk about how I just get constant people contacting me all day long. They're messaging me on all platforms. They're messaging me directly on my phone. They're calling me on my other line. And the reason why is because I've been able to market myself. I put together a real solid resume, cybersecurity resume. I'm going to show you how to do it in this live. I'm going to focus 100% of the time on that. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do this and what to put in your resume, and then how to research it for yourself so you can do this. Don't even have to buy my book if you watch this thing. All right. So let's start off with that. Like, I get constant calls. It's kind of a blessing and a curse, because I'll be driving and I get calls. I'll be at my kids, we out at the park with my kids or something, and I'll get a call. I'll be at another job and I'll get a call. Like, it's constant. It's a blessing and a curse, because each one of these is opportunities, and some of them I pick up the phone and it's like something I can't say no to, right? Or it's something I can share with you guys. I'll make content. If you look at my videos and stuff, sometimes you'll see content where I'm talking about, here, hey guys, if you want this job, here it is. A 6-figure job. It's in San Francisco. 6-figure job. It's remote. It's it's doing this, it's doing that. So I'm constantly getting bombarded with these things. And in my course, in my book, I tell you exactly what I'm able to do. Because what I do is I forward it to another line. So they don't call me. I'll have it forward to a voicemail so I can go through it later or whatever, because I don't want to be called all the time. So I'll show you how to do that. So I do that, by the way, with a free phone line. I just create a free phone line with Google Voice, and then anybody can do it. It's absolutely free. And I tell you how to do it in like 5 minutes. Go to Google, type in Google Voice, and you can make yourself a free account and have a free number. So you've got to take action. A lot of people do not take action. So that's the next part of the book. So the next part of the book is talking about a lot of times people think about all this stuff and they just won't take action. There's so many distractions that they don't take the time to actually make this work, and if you listen to what I'm telling you, this will work for you. All right. So I tell you how to get the tools. I tell you how to get the ATS format, which I'm about to tell you in 1 minute here. I tell you how to put the work experience on your resume, what degrees you should get, what certifications, what skills, and then how to find career paths. All that kind of stuff is in book 1 and book 2 of the books that I just wrote. All right. So let me tell you how to get the actual free resume. So not only do I break down the resume format, like how it should look and all that stuff, but I also give you a sample. So if you go to convocourses.com/courses/resume, or just go to convocourses.com, it's one of the first things you click on. It will have a free downloadable resume. This free downloadable resume it's a sample of a cybersecurity ATS style resume. So it's telling you, kind of like giving you an idea what kind of keywords you put on there and how do you word it, right? And I'm showing you not only I've got like 3 or 4 different templates there. One of them is part of my own resume that I've been using for years that's been getting me all these different jobs. So go ahead and go download that and you can follow along with what I'm telling you. So that resume right there, you can just copy the format style and then just put your stuff in there, right? I'm not telling you to lie or anything like that. I'm telling you how to cheat, not how to lie. You can use my resume, but also in my book, I'm telling you how to use other people's resume, not just mine. So that's the second part, the next part of the book. The next part that I talk about is setting up the actual marketing. I'm trying to give you an idea of where you're going to place this thing. You're going to put it on all the top 10 places for the US. Now, another thing that I tell you in the book is that if you happen to be in another country, if you happen to be in Ghana, Nigeria, if you happen to be in India, if you happen to be in Philippines, wherever you happen to be on the planet Earth, you can do the same thing. But you go to Google, you type in top, wherever you happen to be in the world, right? Or Bing or whatever, DuckDuckGo or whatever search engine you use. Use one of these search engines and type in top job sites or top job search. What you're going to find is in your country, in whatever region of the world you live in, it's going to be it's It's going to be geo-targeted to find the top things in your country. Or you can also put, if you happen to be in India and you want to find jobs there, you put top job sites in India, right? Whatever the top job sites are, you want at least the top 10, because that's where you're going to market yourself. Okay. So it's just something to keep in mind before you do your resume. So you've already downloaded the ATS style resume. And one of the next things you're going to do is you're going to have note all of the top places you're going to post this thing. Here's all the places we're going to post these things. Like, it's a huge list of all the places you want to post. Now we got to finish the resume. So what do we do with this resume? So first of all, the resume is very simple. It doesn't have, you don't have to put any kind of fancy lettering. It doesn't have to have pictures, doesn't have to have tables. In fact, all those things are a hindrance and they don't help you. So you want it to be plain. Like, it's got to be, let me see if I have an example in my book here. Let me just see if I can show you what I'm talking about, how plain this thing is supposed to be. This is ATS style, and many of the top Fortune 500 companies use this style of resume. It's just very plain. It's not, you don't see anything special about this. It's just got the name. It's got summary at the top. Summary is very important because you can like really freestyle and put the most important heavy hitting things in your resume right on the top. So that's one of the things that I tell you to do. And then it's just got work experience. And then you break down your work experience just like you see it here, which is starting off with the job title, the company, the location, and then the start and end date of your work experience. That's the top. And then the next part is you're breaking down each thing that you've done. Now, when you're breaking down each thing that you've done, what you want to do is have an action and an impact statement. Action is what you did relating to cybersecurity. You want to focus on cybersecurity things that you've done. Then the impact is a number. You want to put a number there because the number is going to show the level of impact. Like if you've, for example, if you did vulnerability management, you definitely want to provided vulnerability management for such and such organization, but also you want to put fixed thousands of remediated thousands, 5,000 patches, 5,000 vulnerabilities, 5,000 weaknesses throughout the enterprise, something like that. That shows an impact. So that's not just one sentence. That's an impact, an action, and an impact statement. So that when somebody reads your resume, they're seeing like this dude's been doing this for a while. This dude has covered a lot of ground here. So that's why it's important to put numbers on your resume. Okay. Very important to put numbers on your resume. All right. So that's what we want to do. We want to put an action and impact statement. Now, let me see if I can show you some other things that you want to put in your resume. Yeah. So here's another example of an ATS style resume that you want to have on your cybersecurity resume. And it's just, I mean, you'll notice, like, look at this. It's just plain. It's just your name. You want to put contact information. You want to put your education, your certifications. See how it's just straight to the point. That's an ATS style resume. And it's funny because I've been actually doing ATS style resumes for years and I didn't know. Like, I just kept it simple. And then I've been able to get hired at all these companies, working remotely, making six figures. Like, it's been amazing. So let me see what else. Summary section. So in this summary section, I normally call summary because objectives, I figure they already know what my objectives are. My objective is to get a job there. But if I put a summary, it allows me to freestyle. I can put the top things that I've done that I know is going to have an impact on the organization. Like, my years of experience is a big one. It might be your top certification. It might be if you have a security clearance, if you happen to have one, you want to put that in there. You want to put that that you have experience in PCI compliance. All your top stuff needs to go in the summary section. What do I add? What to add to a resume if you don't have any cybersecurity experience? We'll get to that. I'm writing a whole book about that, and it's cybersecurity entry level. But if you have no experience, what I would do, just like a sidebar, what I would do if I had no experience is I would still post my profile on all of the top sites, almost top 10 job search sites. And then in the summary, what I would put is looking for cybersecurity apprenticeship, looking for cybersecurity on the job training, looking for and then that's what you put in there. You put your education, you put your GED if you have, any kind of a high school equivalent, but you're putting your intent to work at some place. That's what you do. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. And then that way, people who are looking for somebody who's like me, who's an entry level person, they're not trying to spend a lot of money. Like they're just wanting to have somebody who's motivated, who's going to come in that they can train. Believe it or not, they're looking for people like this. But if you don't put it out there, how would they know? So that's what I would do if I had no experience. All right, so let's keep going. I'm going to walk you guys through each one of the sections here quickly, and then we'll move on to other things here. So summary, you break down all your top stuff in the summary. And then let's see, the next one's work experience. So work experience section is probably your most important piece, because this part right here, work experience, is going to have the most keywords in it. And it's going to tell them exactly what you're doing. And the way you want to lay it out is just like this. You're going to put your job title, what company you worked for, and the company can be a keyword too. So you want to put the company, and then you want to put the place, the location that you work, and then the start and end date. And some people put the organization first, then the work role, and then the place, and then the start and end date. But you can do either one. So there you go. Education section is pretty straightforward. In this one, you want to put the name of the institution, the degree that you got, the location of the school, that one's optional, and then the years that you attended, that's also optional. One of the bad things about putting the years is if you were in school a long time ago, then they might if you worked in a long time ago, then some people have an issue against older people. So you probably maybe not even put the year, but you need to put your degree and the institution at the very least for your college. And there's little tricks you can do with your college too. Like you can put sub bullets. Like let's say you are a business administrator, but you had a concentration in cybersecurity, or you had this other course in cybersecurity within business administration, and you're trying to get into cybersecurity. You might want to put that underneath as a side bullet, as a bulleted statement. So that's kind of what I'm listing here in the book as well. The next thing is going to be, and there's other tricks you can do too. Like if you haven't finished your college course, for example, and you only had like, let's say 60, you only have 40 credits towards an associate's degree or bachelor's degree. You could just put the name of the college. Check this out. You put the name of the college that you went to, and then you could put how many credit hours you got for the concentration that you had. Like if you were going for a bachelor's degree in information technology, you put the University of Phoenix, the location, Santa Fe, Arizona, whatever. And then you put, I was going for information technology degree, 55 credits obtained. Boom. And that way you're able to put the bachelor's degree in there. You put bachelor's degree, working towards a bachelor's degree. You put something like that. So you're not lying, but you're also able to be searched whenever somebody's they're looking for somebody with an associate's degree, somebody with a bachelor's degree. Because sometimes the organization will hire you and say, look, can you finish this degree in a year, in 2 years? That's happened to me before. Like they needed somebody with a CISSP, and I didn't have one. And they said, look, can you get a CISSP in X amount of time? And I said, yes. They wanted me to get one in a year. They hired me at a slightly lower rate because all the other people had CISSPs. And then within a year, I got a Security Plus. I was so nervous to take CISSP that I waited. And they said, hey, you didn't get the CISSP yet. Like, what's going on? I said, I'll go get the Security Plus. I went and got the Security Plus. I passed it, studied, passed it. And I was like, man, okay, it's time for me to go get the CISSP. And then I went and tested for that and passed it. Studied like for a year, so I passed it the first time. Let me see. Acceptable degrees. It just needs to be for cybersecurity. Here's another misconception. A lot of people think that you have to have a cybersecurity degree to get that's what they're looking for. No. So they're looking for something in STEM usually. STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But you can get away with other things. Like if you happen to be working for the police department, justice department, or something like that, They would totally take a justice degree. If you happen to be working in the hospital and you happen to have a background as a CNA, that would actually really help you in IT at a hospital or any kind of healthcare facility, because now they know that you know the language, you know the environment, you work with nurses and doctors and stuff like that. So that would actually help you. You work with medical equipment, you know how it works on a network. So that is really incredible for that particular career if you happen to be working for a medical institution. And the same thing with financial. Let's say you were getting a cybersecurity, you're trying for a cybersecurity job, but you were used to be a bank teller, used to be a loan officer, but you're trying, or used to be in real estate, right? That could possibly help you to go work for a real estate agent or work for a bank or a financial institution as a cybersecurity person. Now you know their lingo. You want to put that on your resume as, hey, I studied and got my real estate license, right? But I'm trying to be a cybersecurity for this mortgage company or a real estate company. That could help you out. So it's not just about cybersecurity degrees, right? Depends on what you're trying to do. So let's keep going. Let me see. Certifications. This one's also targeted. Like certifications kind of depends on what area you're getting in. It's not always just about Security Plus or CISSP. It really depends. Like there is, if you happen to be wanting to be a pen tester, there's pen testing certifications. If you happen to be, you want to do totally non-technical and you want to do program management, that's another career path that doesn't do necessarily technical certifications. They have something called a PMP. They have a whole nother track of certifications that you could do. So it depends on what type of job you're trying to do to get that position, what certifications that you need for a particular job. All right, so and that's what you're going to put on your resume. Another thing that I go into in this book, I go into skills, I go into some of the tips and tricks and stuff like that. And there's an audio book for it too. I briefly go into different kinds of paths, which we're going to talk about next if there's no questions. But another thing I talk about is what kind of security to put on your resume. So this is a big one that I think it's like one of those questions that nobody asks that they should ask. So let me go down to how I would figure this out. With all my years of experience and see how I've got so much stuff in this book. So many tips. Okay, so one of the ways to figure out what you need to put on your resume for cybersecurity. A lot of people, like I said, people are lost. People think it's all hacking. I've never hacked a system before. I've never implemented this or that kind of security control. That is not what cybersecurity is. That's not the only thing that encompasses cybersecurity. Okay, there's many different aspects of cybersecurity, and I want to walk you through a couple that you might not have thought about. Account management. If you've ever created an account on a computer for an organization, that's one. If you've ever done continuous monitoring on a system, that means like looking at logs for a system. That's also cybersecurity. If you've ever done vulnerability management, that's like uploading patches on a system. If you've ever done anything like signatures on your malware protection system or on your antivirus software, that is also cybersecurity. If you've ever set up training or wrote a policy or a procedure or a process, if you've written any of those things, that is part of cybersecurity. Those are things you want to put on your resume. Very, very important. If you've done any networking stuff, there's so much networking stuff, network monitoring, network access, wireless stuff. There's so much that goes into encryption. There's so much that goes into security. If you've done any kind of networking before, there's so many things. If you are an application developer, if you are a software developer, that's another aspect that's huge for cybersecurity, because you have to look at things like documentation, documenting the process, configuration management, control changes, change control. That's another aspect. Making sure that the security is in the actual source code of the actual application. Things like validating input from a user. That's also part of security, cybersecurity, information security. Another one is OWASP. If you know anything about that, that's another big one. There's so many aspects of cybersecurity. It's not just CIS Control 18, which is pen testing, penetration testing. People got it twisted. They think that that's all that there is, and there's just this huge umbrella, and it's actually bigger than that. I'm going to talk to you about that next, where it's not even technical. And we're going to talk about that in a minute here. But I just wanted to break all this stuff down. You guys got a downloadable. Like if you go to my site, convocourses.com, there's a free downloadable that gives you an example of what a ATS style cybersecurity resume should look like. Take that one, download it, use it. Use that resume, abuse that resume, take it for your own, paraphrase it, put your own stuff in there, use the same format. That resume that you have is what I've been using for years to make up to 6 figures and also to work from home. So go ahead and check that out, convocourses.com, and then check out the book. If you guys you want to go really deep in the stuff I'm talking about, I go way deeper in this stuff. Go ahead and go to Amazon. Link is in the description. Link is in my bio. But this is what the books look like. I'm releasing a series piece by piece on this one, and it's cybersecurity jobs, resume marketing. I apologize for this thing being turned around, but go to Amazon. You can follow along with me. And then the next one is called Career Paths. And book 2 is talking about the career paths, which I'll talk to you guys about that one after some questions. If you have any questions at all, I'm a subject matter expert on not only getting jobs in cybersecurity, but also in cybersecurity itself. I'm currently in this career path. I do this for a living. I've been doing this since 2000. Cybersecurity, I've done cybersecurity analyst work where I was looking at logs. I've done information system security officer work where I'm writing policies, writing procedures, coordinating with stakeholders for the United States government, for different federal agencies. I've also done this in the private sector as a cybersecurity consultant. So I've done many different aspects over the last 20 years. So if you have any questions about how to get into this field okay, so I got one question here. It says, let me see. Somebody said, would you go for the CYSA plus or the CISSP? So it would really depend on where I was at. So CISSP, to be honest, is a superior certification. Like if you have the option of doing it, if you have, let's say, let me put it to you like this: if you already have 3 years of IT experience, and in that IT experience you've done a lot of cybersecurity stuff, then I would go with the CISSP for sure. But if you're a beginner and you're trying to work in a SOC, that's a Security Operations Center, then I would go for the CYSA because you might not be ready for a CISSP. But if you're ready for one, go for it. Another option, though, if you happen to go for a CompTIA certification rather than the CYSA, if you happen to already have, especially if you already happen to already have a CompTIA certification, is something called a CASP. And I'm trying to bring it up right here, so bear with me. CompTIA CYSA plus. So yeah, to answer your question, it depends on where you're at, what your level is, on whether or not you go for CYSA plus or CISSP. But let me show you back here what I'm talking about. So let me share the screen here. So this is CompTIA.org, and let me show you guys what kind of certifications and stuff that they have. It's a pretty good site, and it keeps taking me to their Buy It Now page. They got a ton of free courses and stuff. I'm trying to CompTIA CYS. Let's just go to CompTIA.org. CompTIA.org. Here it is right here. This is what I was trying to get you guys to look at here. So if you go to CompTIA.org, you'll see all of the different certifications. And here's CYSA plus. All right, CISSP is from a different organization. CISSP is the gold standard for all cybersecurity. Like it will get you almost any job in cybersecurity, and it gets you paid about 6 figures. See why CISSP is no joke. CYSA is a fairly new certification, and it focuses on entry-level security analysis. So they're not even in the same league, those two certifications, okay? So the one that will be in the same league would be this one right here, which is CASP Plus. CASP Plus and CISSP on the same level, about the same level. I would say CISSP has a better marketing. It's been out in the field for a lot longer. These certifications, like there's a lot of focus on certifications these days, and rightly so, because degrees are just like ridiculous. Like it's just very expensive to afford a degree these days. And the colleges are kind of going crazy with the book prices and tuition fees. And so I really don't blame people for skipping the degree. I would say a degree is still really good. It's just the price is they're kind of getting outpaced by the market. Like it's too expensive. So that's pretty much it. Like you could find, like, I think Western Governor University is a real good certification that's not too expensive. There's some good ones out there where you can get a master's or bachelor's degree or something like that. So anyway, I understand why people want to get degree certifications instead. All that being said, a CISSP, with a CISSP, you probably don't even need a degree, to be honest. With some years of experience in the CISSP, I have a CISSP. Somebody said credentials needed. My credentials. So I used to teach this stuff. I have a bachelor's degree. I have a bachelor's degree in information technology from the University of Phoenix. You need a bachelor's degree? No, you don't need a bachelor's degree to get into cybersecurity. You don't need one. And the reason why I say that is because a friend of mine, actually, about a year, 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, a friend of mine who watches me, by the way, he became a friend because we just talk, And he's like, he took one of my courses and he's contacted me directly. He said, Bruce, like, I'm trying to get a job. I took your course. It's really awesome. I'm getting all these calls and stuff, but is there something else? You got to say, yeah, man, actually the job I'm working for, they're looking for a position. Like, let me see your resume. He sent me his resume. He had no degree, but he had application security. And I was like, oh, we need an application security guy. I said, hey, would you be interested in working this? He said, yes. I forwarded it to my supervisor, my boss at the time, and they contacted him, and the dude got the job. That's not even the crazy part. The dude already had a job offer, and then the job I was working for offered him another job. So he's like, damn, I don't know which one to take. He took the other job, and he was at the other job for a while, and then quit that job because it sucked, and it came to work with me, and we were working on the same teams for a while. And then I actually left the company, but he's still there. So he didn't have a degree. I think he might be working on his degree now, but he didn't have one. And then what he did has his experience. He had application security experience, which is like the ability to like scan and know the source code and know how to, do stuff like that. Experience. Let me put it to you like this. Here's a hierarchy. It goes like this: experience over degree over certification. All right. Now, there are high-level certifications that will be better than having a degree or as good as having a degree. And one of those is called a CISSP. There's professional level certs that are better than having, in some cases, better than having a degree. So the reason why people focus on degrees so much is because the degrees is the things that help you to get to that six-figure mark. Like when you're talking about a degree, it's going to get you in the door for that six-figure mark. Is that the only way to get six figures? Absolutely not. CISSP and experience is one way to get six figures. OSCP, which is a hacker certification, which is very difficult, with some experience, that will get you six figures. The CCNP with some networking experience, that will get you six figures. Experience will get you in the doors and get you six figures. With a high level certifications can get you in the door and six figures. You don't absolutely need a degree, right? That said, if you happen to have the opportunity to have a degree, then I would recommend one. Like if you have the money, the time, the resources to get one, yeah, it's just going to open more doors for you. Like think about it like this: you are competing against hundreds of different, thousands in some cases, of different applicants. Even in cybersecurity that's in high demand, you're still competing against for high level good jobs. So think of it like that. The more things that you have on your degree, on your resume, the better of a competitor you are. That's not to say you won't get a job, but it will be harder to get the really good jobs. So let me see. How difficult is it? How difficult is the certification? The CISSP is extremely difficult. I mean, it was difficult for me. It's a 6-hour course. I mean, I don't know if that's your question, but for me, it was difficult. And I had at the time I had like 10 years of experience, and it was difficult for me. So it's a 6-hour course, and I took 5 hours and 50 minutes to finish it, and I had a migraine headache afterwards. I think it's me, like, really. I question myself on tests, and I really am like very critical of myself as I'm taking each. And the answers on the questions of CISSP are very difficult. But I know people that walked in, studied 2 months, and then passed it in 30 minutes. Or that's what they said anyway. You know, that's why I passed it in 30 minutes. Like, wow, good for you, man. It took me 6 hours to pass it. And at the end of it, I was absolutely certain that I failed. Is it mostly coding? No. It's funny. That's a funny question. No, there's no coding on the CISSP test. There's no coding. It's all concepts. It's all cybersecurity concepts. If you want to know what kind of concepts they have, now there are technical questions, but it's not coding. So that's another misconception. There's two major misconceptions about. There's three major misconceptions about cybersecurity. One, people think that every cybersecurity person has to know code. They don't. Is it better to know code? Absolutely. Python, Perl, C++, HTML, scripting. Yeah, it's absolutely dope. It's incredible if you know coding. Like, you are a bad MF if you know coding as a cybersecurity guy. I know a little coding. I'm not super good at it, you know. But that being said, nobody's asked me whenever I come in and they're like, hey, you know, do you know Perl? Do you know? No, not the jobs I want. No. So that's a misconception, number one. Number two is that you have to have a security clearance. A lot of people think that to get cybersecurity jobs, you have to have a security clearance. And no, security clearance is a completely different thing from cybersecurity. So they shouldn't call it a security clearance. They should just call it a clearance, because all they're doing is the background check on you to see if you have a certain level of trustworthiness to handle banking information or handle secret information, classified information. They're just looking at your background to see if you work for a bank, they don't want to hire a bank robber. You know what I'm saying? If you work for the government, they don't want to hire somebody who's going to try to overthrow the government. You know, I mean, does that make sense? So it's just a background check. So you don't have to have a clearance and then there's something called a public trust, but it's actually not a clearance, and you don't have to be a U.S. citizen to get it. So it's different. It's just a background check. It's just an intense background check. That's it. And then the third misconception that I get from a lot of people, most of my questions come from this third misconception, and that's if I work in IT and I'm trying to get into cybersecurity and I don't know how to do it. The misconception is that they've never done cybersecurity before, and what they don't realize is that cybersecurity is not just coding. It's not just hacking. It's a lot. It's this whole umbrella of things, which, if I can get to it, I would love to tell you guys about that, because that's the biggest part of cybersecurity. Like, I feel like people are really missing the show, because it's a huge field. It's not just pen testing. That is 1% of it. That's maybe 1% of it. Of everything that goes on in cybersecurity. So maybe 3, 4, 5%. I don't know, but it's not a large percent of cybersecurity. And I would love to tell you guys about that. Here's a question. Somebody said, I dated someone who was working in special ops. He hacked my phone remotely. Okay. What's your question? What's your question? That means they had a hold of your phone at some point. I put some. Okay, it says, I personally want to know this stuff. So that is that it never happens to me again, and so I can help others. Absolutely. So if anybody touches your phone, let me put it to you like this. There's certain things you can do, like you can encrypt all the data on your phone. So even if he had access to it, you could encrypt it to where you had a code to where he wouldn't be able to get to it. That's one thing you can do. You don't ever want to give somebody you don't necessarily trust your phone. Like if they're going to be doing stuff like that, I wouldn't trust them to even handle my phone, because they can do things like they can put applications on it. They can send you a virus via email. You click on the link and then it downloads some stuff on your phone. That's phishing. They could do. They could put like a device. Now there's like an RFID device they can put to your phone. There's certain things you can do on your phone to secure it. One of which is encrypt the storage on your phone. Don't ever let somebody else who you don't trust handle your phone. Let them have it in their hand, because then they can do something with it. Another thing is, these are just basic security concepts. Another thing is have a multi-factor authentication on your phone. And he said he was able to watch me through my camera. Yeah, he probably put some kind of code on your phone, like something. He put something on your phone, some kind of hidden application on your phone to do all that kind of stuff. That would be my guess. Unless he works for the NSA. NSA has all kinds of stuff that I don't want to. I have no intent. I want to live for the rest of my life. So even if I knew it, I wouldn't tell you. Evil organization that I may or may have not have worked for. Let me see. I've got some other questions here. JSOC. Oh yeah, that sounds familiar. Joint Security Operations Center, huh? Let me see. I got some other questions here on YouTube. I'm just going to kind of go through. I'd say once you get in and make up and keep relationships, I've gotten more jobs just by knowing people than anything else. Yeah, absolutely. Like word of mouth is probably the top way that I've been able to get. Is the way I've gotten some of my jobs. Actually, I don't know a lot of people, to be honest. I really stick with myself, and so that's the really cool thing about this. You don't have to know a lot of people for the way that I'm teaching people how to get these jobs. If you follow the techniques I'm telling you, the first thing is to create the resume. The next step is to market the hell out of the resume. You're going to take that resume that has all the keywords in it, and then you're going to upload it to LinkedIn, to Indeed, to Dice, to Career Builder, to Indeed.com, to all top 10, at least 10 sites. And then you're going to fill out the profile of those, right? That's one aspect of it. That's going to give you a passive flow of people contacting you. And then the next thing you're going to do is start applying for jobs like crazy. Those things that I have an ATS style resume. I upload those to 10 different sites, and then I promote the hell out of it, and then I apply for a bunch of jobs. That way you don't have to know a lot of people. I mean, I've gotten a lot of job opportunities from knowing people because I've been doing this so long, but most of the jobs that I've gotten, let me think. Most of the jobs I've gotten has come from this thing that I'm telling you guys how to do right now for free, right? If you have my resume, that's one big piece of it right there, because that's telling you how to actually create the resume itself. Okay, let me see. What exactly does one do in cybersecurity? Okay, that's a great question. I'm going to answer that by showing you my next book. Okay, I'm going to give you guys like a guided tour of my book, so you guys can see like how broad this is. I'm going to switch the camera here. I apologize for this. I'm doing this on like 3 different platforms, so bear with me here, guys. Let me switch this camera here. Boom. There we go. Okay. Maybe this is a better way to do it. I don't know. Than to have it on the. Okay. Here we go. Okay. I think that's. Damn. It's backwards. I don't know how to fix that, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know how to fix it on TikTok. Okay. We'll have to live with this. All right, so what I'm showing you right here is the second book in my series. If you're interested in getting this, go to Amazon.com, type in cybersecurity jobs, look for my books. I have a 2-book series about this, okay? And right now, this thing is 99 cents. And the reason why I'm doing this is to promote the hell out of my book, to get some reviews. That's why I do it. And if you give me a review, I will give you access to my next book, or my 4th book, which will be Work From Home. Okay, that being said, let's get into this. I want to show you guys. Somebody asked me a question. What does one do in cybersecurity? Let me show you. All right, so there is a bunch of jobs. It's not just hacking, all right? It's all this stuff right here. It's analysis. Wait, hold on. Let me switch screens over here. It's analyzing data. It's collecting and operating the data. It's investigating data. It's maintaining the data. It's overseeing and governing information. It's protecting and defending the information, and securely provisioning the information. And so what does this mean? What does this mean in layman's terms? I'm going to explain this. All right. I'm going to explain this one by one. I'm going to keep it high level. I'm going to keep it in plain English. So analyzing. I'll give you an example of analyze. That cybersecurity analyst is probably the best example I can give. That's not the only example, by the way. There's many jobs and specialties within analyze. Okay, so there's many different. Let me actually go to the site. Yeah, here it is right here. This is an active site. Link in description below if you want to get more access to this information. You can follow along with me. But Analyze has these different specialty areas. You've got all source and analysts. You've got exploit analysts, exploitation analysts. You've got language analysts, target, somebody who finds targets. What do each one of these guys do? Well, it's different jobs. So I'll give you 2 completely different examples. Excuse me. One would be a cybersecurity analyst. What do? They sit in front of a computer and they watch logs on a system. And what are they doing is they're looking for anomalies. Like they're looking for weird things that happen. One weird thing that they might trigger on, that they might say, okay, something's wrong here, is if they see somebody attempting to log in half a dozen times in 5 seconds. No human being can log in that fast. So what they did was somebody created a script, and they're trying to log in over and over again. If they see that activity in the logs, right? Now this is assuming that somebody in the organization has turned the logs on and they have security features built on the computer, which is that's a different job. But as a cybersecurity analyst, you're looking at the logs that are coming through the whole organization. You're looking at the network logs, the firewall rule logs. You're looking at the system logs on the actual individual endpoint devices. That's the actual computers and the phones. You can even look at logs on phones. You're looking at all the logs, and they're coming into one place, and you're looking at them. Now, you can think about how this would be a strain on your eyes if you're looking, and usually it's like a 12-hour shift. So you're just sitting there looking for patterns. That's right. You're looking for patterns, unusual patterns, anomalies. And then once you find those, you're going to do something what's called incident response. Incident response is broken up into like 6 different parts, but the bottom line is what you're doing is you've got to react to that anomaly. You see the anomaly, you'll have something in your computer that you can flag it and then start making a report. Or actually, you would analyze it a little bit further to make sure it's not what's called a false positive. That means like it looks like it's bad, but it's fine. Like maybe it looks like they tried to log in half a dozen times in 1 second, but it was an application that you guys created. Like the organization that you work for, you guys already know what that is. Like you look at it and you figure out, okay, it's system 3, an application that we wrote to log into these systems to maybe check to see if you can log in or whatever that is, right? So a lot of those logs, probably 95% of the logs that you're seeing through the organization are going to be false, what you call false positives. So you're sorting through that. It can be very tedious. But for a curious mind, somebody who likes to dig deep, this is a great job for that. So for me, I had a lot of fun doing that. Who do you send the reports to? So who you send reports to, that's a great question. You're asking a lot of the right questions, by the way. Who you send the reports to depends on the organization. The organization will usually create what's called a CERT, like a incident response team. So a cybersecurity incident response team, and it's going to consist of a bunch of key players. Like it's going to probably have information system security officer. It's probably going to have a security analyst person. It might have the CISO. That's a chief information security officer. It might be somebody that's their whole job is to do incident response. So you have one place, or usually you have a whole organization that responds, and they're called the Security Operations Center. So that JSOC guy, he's probably involved with this whole process. If you talk to him about what I'm saying, he'll know exactly what you're talking about. It's called incident response. So, and it has a bunch of different things that you have to go through to go through that. That is one job. Actually, I just named several different jobs within cybersecurity, but incident response is one. Cybersecurity analyst role is another. And another one is, believe it or not, language analyst. And the reason why a language analyst is important is because every now and then, if you're looking at threats, it'll be in another language, like it'll be in Farsi, which is Iranian language. And it'll be a code written in another language, Farsi or Russian or Chinese or Tagalog or whatever language, right? Whoever wrote the malware. So you need a specialist to come in and interpret it. And that specialist not only has to know Farsi, but they probably have to know a little bit of code, or they have to know a little bit of things that to look for inside the code, right? They might have to know some slang. Like they might know, like anyone can pick up a little bit of Farsi, but not everybody's going to be so in depth that they know things like slang that you only speak in Iran, So that is another part of cybersecurity. Like we need subject matter experts who can speak Ukrainian, or who can speak Russian, or who can speak Farsi fluently. Like that's their native tongue, and they know how because you got different kind of slang. Not only you got colloquial like speaking slang, but you got typing slang. Like people will type in the computer like in a different language, in Cyrillic if it's Ukrainian or Russian, and then they'll have a slang but a person who is a native speaker of what that language will know, okay, I see what they did here, right? So what I'm trying to articulate is that cybersecurity is not just hacking. So you have multiple disciplines within cybersecurity, and we need all these different skill sets for it. Let me take you to one that's like not even technical. The one I talk about a lot, because actually a lot of cybersecurity guys start to pick up this skill because it pays really well. Check this out. So there's one called cybersecurity program management. Program management. Let me take you to that one. So program management is under, I think it's oversee and govern, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, here it is right here. Oversee, and this is what I'm looking at here on the screen. I don't know how well this is going to translate onto TikTok, but so this is a whole nother section. It's called oversee and govern, and it includes cybersecurity management, which is something like what I do. It's got C-level execs, it's got legal advice, and you've got program management right here. Program management and acquisition. Why is this important? You can kind of understand like why legal would be important. Like I can quickly explain that one. Legal would be important because if you're doing a privacy policy, and your users are coming in, we want to be able to articulate and explain to them, here's how we're using your private information. Or to write that little pop-up. Have you ever gone to a site and it says, hey, is it okay if we put these cookies on your computer? Or is it okay? Hey, by the way, we won't be using your. Somebody has to write that language or read through and make sure legally it makes sense, right? That requires a person with a legal degree, or that's their profession, is a legal person. So that's how cybersecurity fits into that piece. Like we need a legal person to be able to articulate and look at and analyze the legal aspects of, say, a privacy policy or something, right? And that's only one of the things. You got use case, you got user agreements, you've got non-disclosure agreements, you've got all these different documents that only a legal person would be qualified to actually read through. So that's why you would need a cybersecurity person. I mean, a person with a legal background to be in part of a cybersecurity team or a cybersecurity project. Well, another one would be project managers. This is an extremely important role. And this pays six figures. You don't believe me? Go to Google, type in I'll do it right now. You know what? Don't take my word for it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Program manager salary. Watch this. This is how much a program manager makes right here. Okay, it's backwards on TikTok, but what this says is 80,000 a year. That's the average, and that's here where I live in this location. And I live in a very rural area. Here's what other places make. I don't know if you can see that on let me see if I can get this on TikTok. Here we go right there. So for those who are listening, this says for Juniper Networks, they're paying their program managers $198,000 a year. That's what that says. For Square, company called Square, they're paying 150, I think, thousand a year. Yeah. Visa is paying 146,000 a year. Facebook's paying 150,000. This is for program managers. What do program managers do? Here's another one. This is a breakdown from salary.com. I'm not making this stuff up. These are real jobs. And let me explain, like, what does a program manager do? This is really interesting. What do? They manage the program. So we'll have a gigantic, let's say we're building the Death Star, right? We're building some kind of application that's huge. Well, the Death Star takes, like, you've got people building the outer hull, the inner hull. You've got people building the decks, the technology in that death ray. Every piece of this thing has a whole team of people who are developing it, right? It's so big that you need somebody to manage the project, manage the program. And we rely heavily on these people to help, to guide us all in the right direction. They're not necessarily our manager. They're not our direct supervisor. But what they're doing, the program manager for six figures, is making sure everything's on track. And these guys usually have something called a PMP certification. A PMP is a breakdown of how you do program management, project management. So that is program management, and that's part of one of the skill sets that you need in this career field. This is a huge career field. It's not just one thing. It's not just hacking. Okay, let me see. I've got a couple of people talking here. I didn't forget about you guys. What is the link to your book? The link to my book is in the description below. If you happen to be watching me on YouTube, link in description below, and that'll take you to Amazon. It's 99 cents, breaks down all the stuff I'm telling you right here. Between both of those books, I'm releasing a series one at a time. So get it while supplies last. Get it while I have these deals going right now. And if you leave me a review, I'll give you access to my next book, which I'm still writing, but I did a quick breakdown video of how I've been able to work remotely. That's going to be book 4. Book 3 is going to take me a while to do. That's for entry-level people. But book 4, I'm giving access for people who are giving me reviews. I really need reviews on the cybersecurity jobs series. So if you do that, send me an email. My email is here. Let me show you my email right here. Here's my email. Wait, let me get rid of this thing. There's my email right there, right here. See, there's the email. And that thing right there is going to, you email me, say, hey, Bruce, I reviewed your book. And then I've got a growing list of people who've already reviewed it. And then I'll send you guys a link to a free mini course. It's a breakdown mini course video. It's actually better than a book. I'm not done with the book. It's going to take me a while. It's going to be like a pamphlet size, very short to the point. But the video is going to break down and walk you through how I'm able to find all these jobs remotely. So, and it's just straight to the point. It's like maybe 5 videos. And it's just talking about, hey, this is what I've been able to do for 7 years. Here's how you do it. Here's what you need to put in your resume. Here's the places you want to search for. Here's how you do the filter. Here's how you upload it. Here's the kind of jobs you want to apply for. It's stuff like that. It's really good. Let me see. What other questions do I have? Can you do entry-level cybersecurity? Yes, absolutely you can. So somebody asked me on YouTube, can you do entry-level cybersecurity? And the answer is yes, you can. Even with entry level, you're not exempt from not knowing IT. Okay. You need to know information technology in order to do this job. But can you do entry level? Absolutely. How do you find those? I'll show you I will show you live. Here's how you find an entry level position. This is assuming you know information technology and you're smart on this stuff. Let me show you how. Let me show my screen real quick. Can you do entry level? Here's how you do it. If it was me, I'd say cyber security. This is just one way to do it, by the way. Entry level jobs. I'm on Google and look at this. Google has this feature where if you just put in whatever keyword jobs, it'll find this right here. Let me show you guys what I'm looking at here. All I did was went to Google and then typed in cyber security entry level jobs. These are all entry level jobs right here, all over the internet. Entry level positions. All of these things. You can do this same thing I just did on every single search engine. And let's see what they're talking about here. So this one at clearance jobs, let's look at what kinds of things that they need. You're not exempt from actually knowing IT. You still need to know information technology, but it is an entry-level position. Entry-level, by the way, doesn't mean zero experience, but sometimes you can get lucky and find those zero-level experience ones. Let's see. This is really poorly formatted, but it says they're looking for a junior to mid-level role, 100% focus on daily operational responsibilities, develops and implements enterprise information security architectures, solutions, oversees application development. So if you've never done this before, then how can you do this? So this one's not ideal. Let's look at another one here. Entry-level cybersecurity, entry-level position, mid-level duties. Okay, let's look at this. Develop an information security engineering aligned. Okay, develop. So this one, you're actually writing agreements and writing ConOps. That's pretty cool. This is a pretty good job. It's a really good way to get your foot in the door in a GRC type position. Candidate must have a minimum of 2 years. So that's what they're considering an entry-level position. Check that. Isn't that crazy? So you might be talking about no experience. How do you find a no experience? So here's how you could find a no experience cybersecurity job. Let's see. You could look for something with GED. Let's see if we can find one. Cybersecurity analyst. This one's in Colorado. This is the same one we were just looking at. Let's see. What are the requirements for this? Candidate must have a minimum of 2 years. Background investigator. Let's see. Entry-level jobs are not going to be making 6 figures. All right. So you're trying to get your foot in the door with an entry-level job. Here's another one. Wow, these guys are hiring like crazy. These guys got a ton of jobs. Okay. Here's another one. If you have absolutely no experience at all and you're trying to learn, let me show you another trick. Here's what I would do. Get rid of GED. I would look for a help desk job. And I'll explain to you why. Some of these jobs literally require 0 experience. See this? These guys are expecting you to have no experience at all. No experience. And you said cybersecurity, right? Here's the reason why I would do this instead if you have 0 experience. Look, they still expect you to have proficiency in this and knowledge of SQL. That means you still have to know IT. There's no way around that part. Here's why I would do a IT, entry-level IT. So a good cybersecurity entry-level position is going to pay you pretty good. It's not going to be 6 figures. You know, it's probably more than likely not going to be 6 figures. Can you? Yes, there's ways you can do 6 figures as entry level. I can tell you that. But if you have 0 experience, but you have the knowledge, let's say You took the Security Plus, you took the A Plus certification. You know, in your head, you know it, but you are a sanitation engineer. You're working in a hospital. You're a teacher, whatever, right? But you know, I have to have. Bruce said I have to have the IT knowledge. Okay, so you got it. Now you want to get your foot in the door. The first thing you need to do is get experience. And the best way to get experience is help desk. Help desk has the best range of people that they will accept. They will accept somebody who has no experience, and they will have an apprenticeship where they walk you through it and give you on the job training. Every hour of experience that you can get is worth its weight in gold. Experience equals money. The more experience you can put under your belt that you can add to your resume, the more money you can get. So in every industry, think of your own industry, whatever industry you happen to be in. Nope. Who comes in and is immediately making six figures? Who comes in and is immediately a manager? Who comes in and is immediately a subject matter expert? Nobody. You got to start from the bottom. The bottom in cybersecurity is help desk. Not all help desk people are from the bottom, by the way. There's some people in help desk that are making six figures. Okay, that's a fact. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if you want to come in and get experience and get that, start racking up that money, you want to come in on an entry level help desk. Entry level is also known as customer technical support. Technical support, field technician. These are all keywords you can type into Google or Indeed or LinkedIn or dice.com or Monster and type in, you can type in help desk. I mean, you might want to write this down. Help desk, field tech, customer support technician. Those are all keywords that you want to put in front of entry level. And then you'll find jobs that have zero. They don't expect you. You can have a GED. And some of them don't even care if you have. They just want somebody who's willing to come in and do the work. You're not going to come in making $80 an hour. Okay. You're not going to come in making $50 an hour. You might not even make $30 an hour. But what you want to do is take the first step forward to get that on your resume. Because after you get that on your resume, you can ask for more money at another place. The very first step is to get the experience on your resume. And now when you put the experience on your resume, you want to emphasize the security things that you've done. Help desk people do a security. What do? They have to update the security patches on operating systems. They might have to work on not only Linux systems, Macintosh systems, but also Microsoft Words, Microsoft operating systems. They might have to work on servers, clients. They might have to work on desktops, mobile devices, Android phones, iOS, Apple devices, Apple phones. So there's all of these different things that you're going to work on, and you're going to be putting security features on those systems. That's the stuff you got to put on your resume. That right there gets your foot in the door. You want to do that for at least, I would say, at least 6 months. At least 6 months, because that shows in 6 months you can gather quite a bit of experience. Maybe 3 months, but 6 months, like in 6 months, if you're really tracking what you're doing, you'll have done a lot. Customer support is one, especially if you're walking people through how to fix technical items. You also want to be doing this in your own house. Like, you want to be doing technical things in your own house. Like, if you want to set up your own network, you don't want to just call in the resident geek and have him come and remove the viruses from your system. You want to take the time to remove your own viruses, or at the very least, watch them do it and see how they're asking questions. Like, why did you reboot my system? Like, could you walk me through it? Can you show me how you just did that? And then try to do it yourself. Like, you have to learn enough nobody's exempt. Even if you walk in off the street, even if you get one of these entry-level help desk positions, nobody's exempt from knowing anything. You have to know something. You have to have cracked a book open and read. You have to have done some work on your own laptop and know something. If you can't even turn on a computer and you're not going to take the time to do it, just move on. Do something else. Like, this isn't for you. If you don't want to turn a computer on and learn some stuff on your own, This is not, I'm telling you, this is not the career path for you. What you might want to try is program management. Program management, you don't really have to know. You still have to know some IT and program manager. Actually, you have to know things like Word. You have to know Microsoft Office. You have to know how to do Gantt charts. They do all that stuff in PMP. You have to know some IT, not IT, probably just you have to know some desktop type applications in program management. So you do have to know some things in program management. So let me see. I've got some other questions. Oh, thanks for that $10. I appreciate that, man. Navi, thank you, Navi. I appreciate you, man. He says, "Hey, Bruce, I want to do a side hustle offering vulnerability assessments and security consulting. What do you recommend to attract clients? I have 20 years of experience and a CISSP." Okay, this is my specialty right here. I'm surprised nobody asked these questions. So that Navi, thanks a lot. I've been dying to answer a question like this. Okay. You see this platform right here? Right now, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, and I'm on Periscope. That's on Twitter. I'm on all these platforms. Now this is crazy. So just the other day, I got an offer for a contract. Okay, and I can't talk about it, but that's as I was working on another contract that I was offered, and a couple of these people found me on this channel. I'm getting offers to do this stuff. I could totally do this. I do this as a business, as a matter of fact, but what I've been trying to do is get contracts with the government directly. I haven't been successful at that. I've got a lot to learn on the contracting side of the house, and I've had some conversations with certain people, but I haven't been able to crack the nut on that one. But I have been able to do B2B stuff. Like that means another business comes to me and they have a government contract and they say, "Hey, Bruce, could you help us do X, Y, and Z? Our client is whoever." I've gotten those. So Navi, yes, you can do this as a side hustle. It's freaking crazy. It's out of control. I'm telling you, you could totally do that. You got to put yourself out there, though. What I'm doing right now is I'm marketing myself. It's all about putting yourself out there. You can't be afraid to turn the camera on. I have so much anxiety. I'm an introvert. I have anxiety doing this, even though it's just at the top of my head. I can do this like I brush my teeth. This is super easy for me, but I have so much anxiety doing the talking to people. But I've done it so many times that here's what's crazy is I've been doing this for so many years now that at my last job, I was working in Verizon, and they said, "Hey, Bruce, you got to just present this organization. They need to get a certification." I worked with this organization for like a few months, and I gathered all of their vulnerabilities, and I was looking at the scans and looking at all their stuff and everything, and putting these reports together, and I had to present it in front of a whole board of people. Like this is a board with probably 100 years worth of experience. We have people who had more experience than me. We had people who are subject matter experts in hacking, subject matter experts in PCI compliance, subject matter expert, you name it, firewall experts. I had to present this organization's information in front of a board of people. Every week that I did it, I destroyed. I was so good at it. And they were quiet. They didn't ask me questions. Well, there were a couple questions, but I was able to just, and the reason why is because I do this. I've been doing this so long. So to answer your question, Navi, yes, you can get consulting gigs. You can do this as a side hustle. And I would highly encourage it. If you have experience doing this, you should be doing what I'm doing right now, putting yourself out there. I get a lot of my contacts from LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a big one. Like you really want to focus on your LinkedIn profile, and then you want to put in your LinkedIn that you do. You've got to advertise that you do consulting, because they're coming to me because I'm saying, "Hey, I'm a consultant. I can consult for you." I'm getting people not only who want to do one-on-ones. I don't really have time for that as much anymore, even though I like to do them. I really like to help people one-on-one, but I just don't have time for it. I have to do B2Bs because I have to make a living, right? So I have to have enough money to do this kind of stuff on a regular basis. Otherwise, if I didn't make enough, I wouldn't be able to do this. I was able to take 4 months off because I'm doing all these side hustles, and the side hustles were able to float me for 4 months where I didn't have a job. I didn't have this was my job. I was doing, did you notice how many videos I was doing? Because I wasn't working. I was doing this as my job. This career field doesn't have enough people to do this. So Nabi, your skill set is very highly sought after. There's not enough people to do what we do. There's just not. Uh, the more that our society depends on data and information, the more they need us. Cybersecurity people who know what vulnerabilities are out there, who are tracking what threats are out there to those weaknesses that are in their system. They absolutely need you, but you got to tell them that you're out there. And you do that by doing stuff like I'm doing, putting information out, focusing on your LinkedIn page, make your own page and say, hey, I do consulting. Put it on your LinkedIn page, on your resume, on the LinkedIn page, and say, I do consulting. That's why people are contacting me directly. So yeah, man, like do this. Like if don't be on the fence. One of the mistakes I made, my partner at the time, she would always tell me, you know so much stuff, like you're so smart on this. You should really do a YouTube channel. And I just drug my feet. I was like, I don't really want to talk about this stuff, And then I just finally one day I did it, and people start asking me questions, and here I am. And I'm just gaining this following because I've been helping people out. Thank you, the one above all. I appreciate that $19, man. Thank you so much. Let me see if I have any other questions. Thanks for that question, Navi. I really appreciate that. It's really exciting actually to do this. I just wish I could do it more. That's my only regret is I can only do this really on the weekends or after my job. I wish I could do this more. And that was really fun when I took that 4 months of just doing this. That's why I was able to write so many books. I was writing a book a month. It's crazy. It says, I hear you. I'm planning on getting a social media soon. YouTube is tough for sure. How difficult is it to register as a government contractor? It's not that hard. You go on a site called Gov. Let me show you. So you have to have an LLC or some kind of business entity first. That's the first thing you're going to do is get an EIN. Number one, get an EIN. Number two, register with your state to do either LLC or a partnership or a C Corp, whatever you're doing, a legal entity. And then once you have all that stuff set up, you're going to want to get a cage code. And you get that off this site called sam.gov. Let me show you the site real quick. Here it is right here. It's called sam.gov. And it will walk you through what they need. You're going to need an email address. You're going to need a phone number to give to them, contact information. All this sounds obvious, but you want to give them like business information. So you got to have all that stuff set up before you go to sam.gov. So and then let me see TikTok. This is where I'm at right here, sam.gov. A lot of people are talking about this. And I've been out there for some time. I only got it because this government agent department said, hey, we want to hire you to teach, but you don't have do you have a cage code? And I was like, I know what that is, and no, I don't have it. So this site right here will give you what's called a DUNS number and a cage code. You can get a DUNS number on your own. I think cage codes are only from here. And cage stands for let me just use my photographic memory. Cage code. It stands for, I remember it, don't worry. It's called commercial and government entity number. All right. And you need that. That's what the sam.gov is going to give you. And then another code you need is called a DUNS number. A DUNS number is a universally accepted number for all organizations have this. It's kind of like it's kind of like a social security number or credit card number for your business, like a publicly available number for your business that identify your business. So those are the two things you need. You need to go to sam.gov. Will walk you through all of this stuff. That's how you get started on it. Number one, EIN. Number two, register with your state. And then number three, come to sams.gov. Now, for your organization, you're going to need an email address. You don't really need a website, but that would be nice to have. A phone number for your business. You can use your personal stuff, but the thing is, they publish all that stuff. It's going to be publicly available information, so just keep that in mind. Once you have that, you go to sams.gov. They're going to ask you for all that stuff, so that's why you want to have it ready. And it'll get this site will get you a cage code, a DUNS number. It's how hard is it to fill out? It's going to take you it'll take you about a day to fill it out. You know, it's a pretty long, not a day, maybe a couple hours, you know, if you just focus your energy, you can get it done. And I got it done about 3 hours or something over the course of a couple days. So yeah, you should definitely do this. If nothing else, if you don't do anything I just said is too much work, at the very least, go to LinkedIn, because I've gotten a lot of offers from LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn, fill out the entire profile, and at the top on the summary, on the about part, put I do consulting work. And then you can put your DUNS number in there and your cage code or whatever, and contact information. I do consulting work. I've gotten people contacting me because of this channel, of me giving free information out. And also, it's crazy how this works. The more you give, the more you receive. I get the most when I do these lives. The videos that I put out, like you see me putting out all these videos, those do okay over like a year or two. Like those videos probably won't hit because I only have like 10,000 subscribers, and it sounds, but there's people who only have 3 subscribers and they do better than me because they know how to market themselves better. So it's all about the business. Yeah, start with that business, and then it's not about subscribers. It's about the business. Making a business and then saying, hey, I do this service. Hit me up if you want. You know, I've got 20 years experience. I know PCI compliance. I do X, Y, and Z. So let me see. I hear you. I'm planning on, okay, I already read that one. Bruce, you've been working hard and it helps a lot. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I mean, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Let me see. Have a little background in IT. I'm planning to get a CompTIA Plus and a Network Plus. What do you recommend for the big bucks? If you're following this track, I would recommend a professional level certification. Professional level certs make the big bucks. Here's how you do it. There's different paths to make the big bucks. One is experience. If you have a lot of experience, then you can get your foot in the door. You got to know how to market yourself. The next thing is to certifications are good too. But if you can get a degree, if you have the resources to get a degree, and not everybody does, not everybody wants to spend that money, and I totally understand that because the degree hold, the university thing's getting ridiculous. It's getting absolutely ridiculous. If you want to go the certification route, you need to get a professional level cert. And let me show you how to find that. I'm going to take you guys on a little trip here. Let me show you. I'm going to walk you through this so you know how to do this. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to explain as I go. Okay, number one, go to Google and type this. Type in security certification certif. If I could, oh my God, my eyes are bad, man. Progression chart. And then you want to go to a site called pauljeremy.com. I could have just told you to go to pauljeremy.com, but I'm lazy. All right, pauljeremy.com. I didn't know how to type his name. pauljeremy.com. This is a really good site. And what I like about this is that he's breaking down all the major certifications. That's what you're seeing. All these different colors are different aspects of cybersecurity. And the ones that make the big bucks are these ones in the starting about intermediate, around about in the middle of the page up. These are all what you call professional level certifications. You got the CRISC, or the certified in risk and information secure system controls. You've got the health information security and privacy practitioner. You've got the CISSP. You've got the CISA, you got the CISM, you got the GCIA. All these certifications are the big bucks. They're not easy certifications by any stretch of the imagination. Some of them are very difficult. There's a couple in here that are not too hard. But for the most part, when you get above the midsection, these are going to be very focused certifications and difficult to do. So that's how you make the big bucks right there. That's how you do it. If you have a professional level certification, any person on this live will attest to this. If you have a professional level certification and you have about, I don't know, 6 years of experience, you can make six figures. And it also depends on where you are too. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Like it depends on where you are. If you happen to be in Wyoming or something, you're probably not gonna make six figures in Wyoming, no matter what you do. I have no idea. But yeah, if you happen to live in let me see, there's a couple parts of the country that are really good for this. If you happen to work in the DMV area, which is DC, Maryland, Virginia, that's six figures. Six figures is nothing to them. Six figures is chump change for them. If you happen to work in Plano, Texas, parts of Texas are really good for six figures. Silicon Valley, six figures is chump change. Southern California, parts of California, yeah. So six figures is easy in these places. If you happen to, especially if you have a security clearance, that's another way to make the big bucks. If you have a security clearance. Yeah, Nabi, thank you once again for that $20, man. I really appreciate that. It says, thanks, Bruce. You are helping to inspire others, and LLC setup will work on Sam's. I have a LLC setup will work on. Yeah, that'll work on your LLC. Will just make sure your status is current, like you're up to your LLC hasn't expired. Make sure that's good to go. It'll work. Yeah, just go for it, man. Yeah, go for it. Like people don't ask that. It's not everybody's like business minded, and you start talking about people's eyes glaze over. So I don't talk about it a lot, but man, business is that's really where my real passion is. Making multiple streams of income. Man, I could talk about that for a while. I could talk about that one because I've been doing it for a while and I know a lot. Like I've failed so many times. I'm not saying that to brag, but it's definitely not bragging points. But I fell forward, and so that's why I know some stuff about it. Somebody said on TikTok, "Oh, I see you're on SAMS.gov looking for cybersecurity contracts. I'm learning about that now." Yeah, I'm not looking for any cybersecurity contracts. Not now, but a few months ago I was, and I was in talks for another one. They're out there for sure. Especially if he says, I can attest to this. I have an AWS, a CISA, a CASP, and a Security Plus. Yeah. So if you have one of those certifications that he just named, like those are all six figure. Those are all six figure. Get you six figures. Yeah, especially if you have some experience under your belt. You happen to be in the DMV area. That six figures is nothing. Like it's funny because I'll do my content and I'll say, "Oh, you can make six figures," and people from the DMV area is like, "Really?" Like everybody has six figures there. Like, but not everybody has six figures in the US. So that's why it's a big deal. Six figures is a big deal for most Americans. For me, it was a big deal. It was a huge step up in the right direction. But if you happen to already live in the DMV area, you've been doing this for a while, you already know. Like six figures it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? And contractors are making millions of dollars. So I was making that play right there. I was trying to see if I can get a direct contract, but easier said than done. And now I'm already working on this stuff, and I just started focusing on just writing. So I'm not as interested in doing the certificate, the contracting stuff as much anymore. I'd rather work for somebody else who's already done the work, and I'm kind of leaving that. So have I tried it? Yeah, I did. I was really looking for one for a while, but now I'm like, nah, I just want to write, I'm I'm not trying to make myself another job. I'm just going to go ahead and just write, that's something I'm good at, something I like to do. And I get to help people. I get to talk to you guys, somebody says, how's it going, man? Just laid off as a Scrum Master. Any advice for getting certified in cybersecurity to make more? I've got some advice. Here's what I would do if I was laid off as a Scrum Master: is I would apply for a program management job. That's what I would do personally. And the reason why I would do that is let me show you the reason. Let me show you the reason. Project managers make pretty good money. That's why. Check this out. So let me show my screen here. So if you go to Google, type in program manager or project manager, either one, you'll see something like this. And this, I apologize in advance for this being backwards, the screen being backwards, but I don't know how to fix that. That says 80. That's the average near my area, and I'm actually in a very rural place, and that's 87,000. That doesn't sound good, but look at these other jobs here. This one's for 200,000, 150,000. That's not bad money. This is a program manager. If I was a Scrum Master, I would get a PMP. If you don't already have one, if you already have one, then you need to tighten up your resume, because you should be making money like this. Like this says, if you happen to be listening to me, I just highlighted something that says program manager salary $123,000 to $164,000 is the average amount that they make. Now, it depends on where you live. Like I live in a very rural area, so if I got a rural job, but you can get a remote job from DMV area or in Dallas, Texas, where they're paying $141,000 for this job. So if I were you, I would not waste a single second. What I would do is I would promote the hell out of my resume. I would lean into program management as hard as possible to get that six-figure salary. That I'd aim for about 130. Tighten up your resume. Put your resume on LinkedIn, on monster.com, on indeed.com, on careerbuilder.com, go to 10 different top places. And then on the top of your resume, I'd say remote work. If you still want to get in cybersecurity, get that $130,000 PMP job, and then study for Security Plus. That's what I would do. You get the Security Plus under your belt. Basically, that's going to teach you. Security Plus is not a high-level certification, but it's really, really good at the fundamentals of security. It's one of the best certifications for if you want to know the fundamentals of cybersecurity. And if you get the certification, it's highly sought after by the government. The government, the top security certifications for the government are CISSP, CASP, Security Plus. I probably put CEH on there. A lot of people hate CEH, but CEH is paying the hell out of people. So those are probably the most popular top 3 certifications that if you put it on your resume, like, it demands a certain level of respect, at least from an HR department who hires people. So that would be my advice for you. Lean into program management. If tighten up your resume, put all your Scrum Master experience on there, tighten it up, put it on market the hell out of yourself, put it on every platform, and start applying for jobs. Get yourself a remote position, work from home. That way you can study for the Security Plus and then do that on the side. But to be honest with you, if you know how to market yourself well enough as a program manager, you won't need to do cybersecurity, man. So program management, in a lot of ways, is better than cybersecurity. Just my opinion. Okay, let me see. Do you have a course in GRC ISO? I'm looking for a course that teaches me enough to land a job. So Michael, I do have one, but before you purchase my course, if you are interested, go to Convocourses.com. I've got one that's free. Actually, why don't you check out the free copy of it? Go to Convocourses.com, look for all my free stuff. You'll see a free risk. It's called RMF ISO Foundations. and there's a free version of it. Okay, check that out, see if that's what you want. But before you do that, I would ask you this: do you have IT experience? Do you have information technology experience? Or very heavy knowledge in IT, because you're going to need that to get these jobs. It's not heavy. I don't do a lot of hands-on cybersecurity stuff. I'm not configuring routers. I'm not configuring switches. I'm not configuring help. I'm not working on the help desk, working directly with customers. I'm not doing firewall rules. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Okay. But I do have to know what kinds of threats there are out there. I do have to have some idea of the best practices of cybersecurity. I have to have a very good understanding of those things. So the reason why I say, like, the course is really good. It in my opinion, it's the best course out there, because I'm giving people practical. I'm telling you what risk management framework is, and then I'm giving you a practical example of how it works. I don't see anybody doing that unless you're going to spend $3,000 on somebody to come to your site and give you pamphlets and stuff like that. I'm not doing that. My stuff's like under $300, and to be honest, it's way cheap. So, but it's an excellent course. It's one of the best out there. I know, because I've been through some of those courses, paid for by the government, and I can tell you, my course is one of the best ones out there. So go ahead and check it out. But if you don't have, the first step should be, if you have no experience, you need to get IT knowledge. You need to get a solid level of information technology knowledge. But if you want to know my courses, Convocourses, go check in the link description below. You'll see the convocourses.com. Go there, and then you'll see free courses and stuff there, so you can check it out. Let me see. Thank you so much for the breakdown. Appreciate your channel. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. Thanks for that. Let me see. I'm trying to look for questions I haven't answered yet. And let me see. I got one on TikTok. It says Security Plus. Okay. Thank you for your advice. Is it possible to do one-on-one conversation with you? To be honest, I'm pretty busy. I'm pretty busy. I'm pretty busy. Even doing these lives have been taxing. I would like to do a lot more lives, because I'm able to help many more people, but I'm tapped right now. I am tapped. I've got a lot of people asking me for one-on-one stuff, but now I'm working. I'm I'm tapped. I got no more. I'm done. So the best time to ask me questions is right now. Right now. One-on-ones, I'm charging people $100 an hour, and I barely have time for that. So I'm cutting that out. I don't have time for that, because I'm doing too much other stuff. The business stuff is starting to weigh heavy on me. So, and I apologize for that, guys. I a few months ago I was free, but now I'm tapped, man. I'm about to take that stuff off my site, everything, because I just haven't had the time to do it. Okay, somebody said, Bruce, can you create a course on eMASS and STIG Viewer? The stuff online is so dry compared to your enthusiasm. eMASS, I don't have access to. I've gotten this question many, many times. I would love to do a course on eMASS or Archer or something, which I've worked with Archer, but eMASS, I sure can figure it out. I've not done it before, but I've worked with those kind of systems. STIG Viewer, I think I will do that one. I got to do that one real soon for one of my courses, so maybe I'll just do it live. I've done it before, but I need to do it again here recently, because I did it like 2 years ago or something. So if you go to Convocourses, my site, I've actually done one on the STIG Viewer before, where I will walk people through it, but I think it was a live. So what I want to do is do a more current one, and I'll do that here real soon, because I already have all the stuff on my computer. I've got like VMware. What I did was I have VMware, and I have like they used to call it Backtrap. I got Kali, Linux, and then I've got Windows, couple versions of Windows, and like a legacy version of Windows. And then what I do is I'll load STIG Viewer and the SCAP stuff on there, SCC, and then I'll run it. and then I'll just walk you through how to do it. I did it before on a live, but I can do it again. So I don't have a course for it just yet, but it's coming. All right, guys, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Navi, for the donations. The one above all, thank you so much for the donations. I'm going to try to do another one tomorrow. I'm going to try to do another one tomorrow. And this one's going to be about cybersecurity. What am I going to do this one about? The NIST CISSP, the NIST Cybersecurity Framework. I would like to do one about that, like a full 20, 30 minutes on how to do that. And if you're interested, it'll be this time tomorrow, about 1 o'clock tomorrow, Mountain Standard Time. And I'm going to be teaching how that actually works. And you'll have an opportunity to learn what frameworks are and a little bit about GRC stuff. And thank you guys on TikTok. I really appreciate you guys asking those questions. Thanks a lot. Cool Daddy 33 and wow. So S James 916 Sacramento. He's from Sacramento. I'm from Sacramento too, man. All right. Later, guys. Appreciate you. Take care. And I will talk to you guys later. I got $100 and I'm trying to get the last spot. I'm so tapped. I have no time left, but I appreciate that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you so much. Talk to you guys tomorrow.